Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a quick channel update and a anime haul video. Uh, I've done these before, so to my longtime viewers, same old, but I've got some exciting stuff. So let's get right into it. We'll start with the anime haul, and then I'll do the channel update afterwards. So that way, if you don't really care about that, you can click off. So yeah, let's get into the first thing. I'm starting with a big one, and that is the quintessential quintuplets season one. Uh, this is out of print. It's been out of print for a while, and it's typically like at least $100. Probably more than that. Um, and I got this on Mercari, which if you don't know Mercari, it's basically eBay but without the bidding. Um, and I want to tell you how I got this because I got it for $30. So on Mercari, there is an option to save a search. So, if you regularly shop on online websites like eBay and Mercari, you know all about this already. But for those of you who may not be familiar, there you can save a search. Like I did a search for quintessential quintuplets Blu-ray, and so I did that. And whenever something new was posted that met those search requirements, then it would notify me. So, like a couple weeks ago, I was notified that there was a new quintessential quintuplets Blu-ray on Mercari. I looked at it, saw it was $30, and immediately went, "That's mine." So now I have this, and super happy to have it. It's a wonderful show. Probably definitely one of the best romantic comedies in the past decade. Uh, and Now that I have this, I can finally get season 2 in the movie. I don't have those, but those are still in print, so, uh, I'll pick those up eventually, but super happy to have this. Yeah, $30, and that's like, maybe a third of what it typically is, so super happy about. I bought Heavy Metal L Game. This is new. It's not used at all, it's still in the shrink wrap. So what happened with this was that this recently came out just earlier this month. It's a Sentai Filmworks release, and it went out of stock before I grabbed it. Uh, and I was like, "Oh no!" It went out of stock faster than I anticipated. I was waiting for some sort of sale or something, so it was retailing for about $65 most places, and I saw that went out of stock, and so I panicked, and I was like, "Oh no, I need to grab this because I don't know if it will come back in stock," because it's a fairly niche series. It's a mecha anime by Yoshiyuki Tomino, the creator of Gundam, and that's awesome. I love Gundam, so I'm super excited to watch this. Uh, but I don't know how popular this is with the typical anime viewer. Probably not that popular. So I was like, okay, I should grab it because I don't know when or if Sentai will print more, which isn't really the best state of mind to have. You don't want to panic buy, and I kind of panic bought this. So what I did was because it was out of stock everywhere, is out of stock on Sentai, it was out of stock on Crunchyroll, it was out of stock on Target. It was still in stock on Amazon and Walmart, but it was $100 there. So I was like, no way am I buying it for $100. So there, I remembered I have a contingency plan. Uh, it's it's not really a secret, but there's a store called Robert's Anime Corner Store. It's a smaller website, specializes in anime, but the thing is, since the general public doesn't really know about it, they tend to go out of stock last. So, like, if everywhere else is out of stock, check Robert's Anime Corner Store. They might still have it. And they did. They had this and they had it for $65. So I was like, well, that's not the price I wanted to pay, but it's a fair price. So I went ahead and grabbed it. Um, should I have waited? Well, it's back in stock most places now. So maybe I should have waited. But still, I got it for what I consider a fair price, not a deal, and I did really want it. So I'm not too upset. Now, I also have never seen When They Cry. Uh, these three are Discotek releases. Uh, the first series came out a while ago, and these two came out relatively recently. I think this within the past month. Um, and the thing about these is that being Discotek releases, I used to buy a lot of Discotek from Crunchyroll. Well, if you have been paying attention to anime home media news at all, you know that Crunchyroll isn't really uh, doing so great right now in that regard within the anime home media business. So I was looking for a new place to buy my Discotek releases. And so there's Animego, which is a great store. But they do tend to be full price, which, that's fair and all, but I do like to try to get, you know, a a, a deal lower than retail price. So I was looking around and I remembered that there was a store that I hadn't tried before called Diabolic DVD. This store does not have every Discotek release. It doesn't have stuff from every anime publisher, but it does have some stuff. And they do have very good prices. So I went to Diabolic DVD, I picked these up, um, and they were lower than the full retail price. I don't quite remember how much I got these for, but in addition to these, I also got Cat Labor. This is also a relatively recent Discotek release, and I remember that I got this for like $22 on Diabolic DVD. Um, so better than retail. Um, and it's a classic, so I needed to pick it up anyway. And then lastly, from Diabolic DVD, I picked up Angel's Egg. Now, you may notice right away that this does not look like an American release. It is not. It's an Australian release from Umbrella. Uh, I picked this up because G Kids was kind of dragging their feet on the 4K release of Angel's Egg, and of course, immediately after I bought it, they announced that they would be releasing it on 4K pretty soon. So, uh, you're welcome. I'm the reason why G Kids is finally releasing Angel's Egg on 4K. Uh, but this Australian release works just fine. 4Ks are region free, so that's not an issue. It has English subs, um, and so it will do just fine. I love Angel's Egg. I watched it for the first time when G Kids put it into theaters last year, and I had always wanted to see it. It was I knew that was supposed to be a classic. It was supposed to be very uh, esoteric and like avant-garde, and it certainly is. Um, and it's very enjoyable. Love it. It's from Mamoru Oshii. Um, who directed Ghost in the Shell, Urusei Yatsura, plenty of other stuff that I'm not thinking of right now. But yeah, it's wonderful. So that's my Diabolic DVD pickup, and they all came relatively quickly. The packaging was good, so I'm definitely going to give them another try whenever there's another Discotek release that I'm interested in. Now, I believe that's it for my online shopping. We're going to move on to my local shopping. Well, not really so local because I went on a trip. I went on a road trip and I went to some stores that I don't usually get to go to. So, of course, I picked up a ton of stuff because I have a problem. And so here are all my store pickups, starting with uh, what is this? It's Onechan ga Kita, also known as Big Sister Has Arrived. It's This has never been released in America. This is a Japanese Blu-ray. Unfortunately, it does not have English subtitles, which is kind of to be expected from a Japanese Blu-ray. Sometimes they have English subtitles, sometimes they don't, but typically not. So don't expect them. But yeah, this just happened to be in a store that I went to, and uh, yeah, $20 for a show that you cannot get in America. Yeah, sure, why not? It's not like an amazing pickup. This isn't a grail of mine. Um, it's just a short. I think each episode is 3 minutes, so not a big deal. Not like a life changing anime or anything, but fun enough, and it's unique. So $20 for that, sure, why not? Here I found Michiko and Hachin. This is a Funimation release, as you can see here, and it's shrink wrapped. It's brand new, and it's very out of print. And as far as I can tell, it's fairly expensive as well. It's 40. It was $41, so I thought that was a pretty good deal for that. This did air on Toonami for my Toonami channel fans. Keep watching to the end for for a Toonami channel update, by the way. Um, so this did air on Toonami, I believe, in 2013, maybe 2014. I'd have to look that up, but yeah, this I haven't seen it before. I'm excited to watch it. Should be fun. We have Sayuki. It was $45. This is from a publisher that I have never heard of. Uh, it's from Acer Holdings. Am I pronouncing that right? Yeah, as far as I can tell, Acer Holdings. Uh, and this is the complete series, 50 episodes, and it's been out of print for a long time, as far as I can tell. And I don't know if it had a large print run to begin with because it's this obscure publishing company that I've never heard of. Um, and it is an SD Blu-ray, by the way. It's an older show, so it it's fine that it's on SD, and less discs that way. And I don't know if they had like a good master to make it HD, so that may have been necessary, but that's okay. SD Blu-rays are good in my book. Um, I always see the sequel, Saiki Reload. I see that all the time, but I never picked it up because I to watch the original before I watch that. So now I can. Do I know anything about Sayuki? No, not really. Uh, I know that I've heard of it before. That's about it. So uh, it's not completely irrelevant at the very least. So yeah, but excited to give it a try and see how it is. Oh, now we're getting into some weird stuff. Here is Perfect Blue on UMD. So, for those of you who don't know, UMD is the format that you could play on the Sony PSP, the PlayStation Portable. Um, and so they released movies for that, and the PSP, the games are region free. You don't need to, if you want to play a Japanese game on your American PSP, you can do that just fine. The movies are not region free. So you cannot get a Japanese version of Perfect Blue on UMD and put it into your American PSP. It won't play it. So there's a fairly small selection of anime that was released on in America for PSP. Um, and Perfect Blue is one of them. And I love Satoshi Kon, my favorite anime director ever. And so I had to pick this up. Here's what it looks like for those of you who don't know what UMD looks like. It's a disc that's inside a little carrier case kind of thing, and you don't take it out of the case. You just put the whole thing in the PSP. Um, you can see that this one's a bit scratched. I haven't tried it yet. Hopefully, it's fine. If not, there are replacement cases. You can split this case open, take the disc out, and slap a new case on it. Or I could maybe attempt to buff it. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I wish I had this when I did my Perfect Blue video because then I could have showed this off then. Uh, Perfect Blue was released on VHS, DVD, UMD, Blu-ray, and 4K, so it's very well released. Now I have this. The only thing I'm missing now is the VHS, which is very expensive. So if you see Perfect Blue on VHS out in the wild, I suggest grabbing it. But yeah, one step closer to getting every release of Perfect Blue. Next up, we have a VHS. This is The Cockpit. Now, you probably haven't heard of this unless you're a big fan of Leiji Matsumoto. He is the creator of Galaxy Express 39, Space Battleship Yamato, Captain Harlock, and much more. The Cockpit is a short, I believe is a couple OVAs. I don't think it's a movie. Yeah, it looks like it's 3 episodes. You can see on the back here, it's 3 episodes there. Um, all about a fighter pilot. The full name is The Cockpit Kamikaze Stories. Uh, yeah, I'm not imagining that this has a happy ending. But the thing about this is that this was never released on DVD, never released on Blu-ray, never released on 4K, never released on Laserdisc in America, as far as I know. Um, so this is it. Like this VHS is the way to watch it in America. It's the only American release it's ever gotten, and yeah, like so that's one reason. If you watch my ancient VHS video, my anime guide to VHS, which is uh now I look back on it and kind of cringe a bit, but it still has some good information in there. Um they didn't remind this. Anyway, uh what was I saying? Yeah, if you watch that video, the anime guide to VHS, I did mention that one reason that it's good to collect VHS is because there are some things that never reached later formats. So there are some things that you can't watch, with a physical release any other way. Here we have two visual novels. Uh, these were in the anime section at a store that I went to, and they're not anime. They are visual novels. They they and they're localized visual novels, which is, physical localized visual novels are not common in America. Uh so I picked these up because they were pretty good prices. This one was $15, this one was $9. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty good. So, I don't know how much these actually are. Didn't look that up. Um but I'm a visual novel fan. I don't know anything about these two. I assume that they're romance visual novels. They certainly look that way. Um, but yeah, I like visual novels. So anytime I can find physical ones just out and about, yeah, absolutely, I'll pick it up. Just I don't care what it's about or if it's any good. I'll give it a shot. So happy to find these. Okay, now back to more normal stuff. Here we have Yuna. This is me from the future. Sorry for the awkward cut. I was trying to explain that this is called Galaxy Fräulein Yuna, but my audio just kind of cut out for whatever reason. So maybe it's my mic positioning. Anyways, it's happening constantly in this video. Sorry about that. But yeah, so this is called Galaxy Fräulein Yuna. Uh, on other releases, it has that full title, but on this one, it does not. It's just called Yuna. But I haven't seen it. Again, I own it on VHS, but I haven't watched it. Um, but it was only $7. So I was like, maybe upgrading to DVD for $7 isn't a bad idea. It's an ADV release. ADV, in my experience, made some really good looking DVDs. So yeah, happy to pick up an ADV DVD. Um, it has this little uh the only thing it includes is this little mail in, tell us how we did and whatever. Or is this a mail? Not sure. But yeah, so there's Galaxy Fräulein Yuna. Now, I said I was done with weird releases, and this is not that weird, but it's sort of weird. This is Zoid's Chaos Century. This is volume 10. This show never got a full series release in America. It was only released, I believe that this in particular, Chaos Century, was only released on DVD. I don't think it was released on VHS. Zoid's New Century, the one with the Liger Zero, and it's more of like a sports themed Zoids anime. That one was released on VHS and DVD. Uh, and I actually own all of that. But I've never found a Zoids Chaos Century DVD out in the wild. I've seen them online, they're usually tons of money, so I haven't picked any of them up. This one was $20 just for this one volume, which, yes, is pricey, but I'm a Zoids fan, and I've just never been able to pick up a Chaos Entry ever. So I think that that's, a perfectly good price to pay for it. This is, I believe, the penultimate volume. It's volume 10. It has episodes um 55 through 60 on it. And I there's 67 episodes of Chaos Century, so I imagine that the last volume has 7 episodes on it. I'd be wrong about that, but maybe they split up into 4 and 3. But it's towards the end. Is essentially what I'm saying. Um, yeah, I highly doubt that I will be able to find the rest of the volume. So this is kind of a fool's errand. Um, it's just more for the novelty of owning Zoid's Chaos Entry, at least part of it. So moving on, we have Ai Tenchi Muyo. This is a more recent Tenchi Muyo series. Recent is relative here, recent compared to the original Tenchi shows, the classics. This one is a Funimation release, and it's usually pretty expensive. I bought it for $30. Uh, Unfortunately, it does have some scratches in the case here. Um, Not sure how well you can see it on video, but I will have to replace the case, which shouldn't be a problem because it is just a single disc Blu-ray. I have their Blu-ray cases just lying around, so that should not be hard to replace. Um, Funimation release, uh, out of print, probably expensive, but $30 seems to be pretty good. So it's a series of shorts, I believe. I haven't watched this one. Um, but I'm one step closer to owning all the Tenchi stuff. I still need to get Tenchi Muyo, War on Geminar, uh, and what else do I need? Maybe some of the Magical Girl Sasami, like whatever that show is called. I own some of that. I don't think I own all of it. But yeah, so anyways, I need to get some of that, I guess. And War on Geminar. And then I should have everything, I think. Pretty close. I have well, there's always more Ryoki to get. I don't think that was fully released ever, so I can't really get that. I own the original 2 series of Ryoki, the which would be about that 14, 13 episodes, 13 OVAs. And I think that there was a Funimation release of the 3rd series, which I don't have, so I do need to get that as well. Next, we have Hinamatsuri. This was a show from about maybe 10 years ago, or around around about that much. Um, it's a Funimation release out of print, usually more expensive than this. I paid $30. It's a very fun show. It's nothing amazing. It's not going to knock your socks off. It's not life changing, but it is fun. It's uh kind of, I believe this guy, he's mixed. Is he in with the Yakuza? I forget. It's been a long time since I watched it. And he finds this like alien girl and is forced to take care of her. Um, so very fun show. Uh, Episode 1 has a Terminator reference, so I think that tells you everything you need to know about this show. Next, we have New Game and New Game Plus. So this is, or well, no, it's not called New Game Plus. I always do that because it should have been called New Game Plus. Anyways, the first season is New Game. The second season is also New Game, but with an extra exclamation point. Um, so yeah, why did they not call the second season New Game Plus? I have no idea. They totally should have. But anyways, New Game and New Game with an exclamation point. So 2 seasons of anime here for $50. This is another Funimation release. It is out of print. It's a pretty fun show. It's about a game development company, and they all happen to be cute girls, of course, because it's anime. Um, and this aired about 10 years ago, so similar to Hinamatsuri. Um, and I had a blast watching it. It's very fun, very chill show. And yeah, not much to say about it, but happy to have it in my collection. Next, Battle Angel, also known as Battle Angel Alita. Uh, this is a two-part OVA that released in 1993. It was much later adapted into a Hollywood movie, and it's it's pretty good. It's kind of post-apocalyptic, featuring cyborgs and all that, and um, it's 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 based on a manga, and the manga is a fairly long running manga, and this does not adapt all of it. It only adapts like the first little bit of it, similar to the Hollywood movie. It only adapted the first bit of it. Um, but I bought this for $9, and online the prices for this are kind of high up there, like 60 bucks or something for this one OVA set. This was released on VHS and DVD. I have both now. Uh, but it never made it to Blu-ray, which is really weird to think about. Like, for those of you who know what Battle Angel is, like, isn't it kind of weird that's never been released on Blu-ray? I think that's a little bit weird. Um, it definitely should have been. Here's a big one. We have Gundam Wing on DVD, the full series. The two Bandai Anime Legends releases. So first half of the show, second half of the show. Um, if you've watched my Gundam video, like the cost of watching Gundam in 2026, that video should tell you that these are expensive. No, they're not Blu-ray, but they're still expensive. Just because the Blu-rays are so expensive that the DVDs have increased in prices because people are trying to grab the DVDs to save some money. Uh, I own the Blu-rays, but I didn't have the DVDs. I did want the Bandai releases, and these are $30 and $20. That's how much I paid for these. So $50 total, which is an absolute steal. I don't remember how much the DVDs were for Gundam Wing, but I'm sure that they are expensive. Um they're pretty standard releases, just nothing too special about them. Um but it's hard to get Gundam these days. And so if I find Gundam for cheap, I think I'm gonna pick it up. So yeah, happy to have these. Um, if you do find Gundam for cheap, I do recommend picking it up. Um, and I don't know why they priced them at these prices at $20 and $30. That makes no sense to me. But they did, so mine now, I guess. So the next three were bought from again a store that went to on my trip, and these next three are all sealed. The two after this one are reseals, but this one seems to be the original plastic wrap. This has never been opened because it has a Best Buy sticker right on it. Like, this is Kino's Journey. It still has the little pamphlet on the outside of the box here. This is a ADV box set, and it's the as far as I can tell, it is the original plastic wrap. There wouldn't be a Best Buy sticker on the outside of it if it wasn't. And they sold it for $10. No, I don't understand their pricing, but I'm okay with that. So yeah, $10 for a sealed ADV box set. Again, as I said earlier, I like ADV DVDs and I do like box sets. So of course I'm gonna pick this up. This just looks really nice. I mean, it doesn't look that great because the plastic is kind of ripped and a bit dirty. So if I decide to take it out of the plastic wrap, it might look better. I don't know if I'm going to do that though. Not sure. So yeah, Kino's Journey, 10 bucks. I don't know why it hasn't been opened all these years later. And then, as I said, I have two reseals. You can tell that these are reseals because of the type of plastic. You can hear that crinkle. Like, this is 100% reseal plastic wrap. There's no way that's the original. They are ADV box sets though. and these were being sold. This one was $18 and this one was $17. So we have Samurai Gun and Magical Shopping Arcade Abe Nobashi. I don't know anything about either of these shows, but again, ADV box sets. I like ADV. I like box sets. And the last release that I have to show you, the last pickup that I have to show you is one that's important to me. That is Sailor Moon Supers on DVD. I already own all of Sailor Moon on Blu-ray, but the new Blu-rays don't have the old dub. Uh, the the two first seasons were dubbed by Deke, and the third and fourth were dubbed by Cloverway. I believe I have that correct. And then season 5 was never released in America until much later, so that never had an old dub. It just has the modern Viz dub. Um, so now I have season 4 of Sailor Moon on DVD. I already own the first 2 seasons, so I just need that last third season, and then I'll have the entire North American release of Sailor Moon from back in the day. This set, the box has seen better days. It it has definitely has some wear on the bottom, but the discs are absolutely beautiful. Look at that. That disc art is just amazing looking. That is some of the prettiest disc art I've ever seen. So that's just wonderful. This is who did this release? Oh, Pioneer. Pioneer slash Genion. They did this release because the first two seasons I have, those were released by those were 80 sets. I'd have to look them again. But yeah, super happy to pick this up. One step closer to owning the whole show. Very happy about that. And this one was $75. I did have a 20% off coupon, so I used it on this. So take off 20%, that's 15. So that would be $60. Not bad in my opinion. I don't know the current pricing for this. So, those are all of my releases. So on to the channel update. Um, so what I have been doing for the past almost a year now, I have been releasing a Toonami channel video every month. Uh, and that has been a really cool experience and a very like people love it. I'm super happy that people love it. It's doing much better than I thought it would. Uh, and I love making them. However, because I'm doing them every single month, I don't have time for all the other projects that I want to work on. I have other video ideas that I've been sitting on, but I can't really do them because I upload a Toonami video and then I immediately start working on the next Toonami video. So, what all this is to say that the Toonami channel series is taking a break. It will be back. I do like doing them. There's no way that I want to stop doing them, but I do want to take a break, let it sit for a while. There's 10 episodes out already, so I think that's plenty to watch. And maybe more people will come in and check them out in the meantime while it's taking a break. Um, so yeah, sorry, Toonami channel fans, you're going to have to wait a while for the next one. I don't know how long a while is. It might be a few months. I don't anticipate it being much longer than that. I do expect to do another episode before the end of the year at the very least. Um, but we'll see. It's all up in the air. I can't make any concrete promises. So, you may be wondering, what am I doing instead of the Toonami channel videos? Well, I don't really want to tell you that because I don't want to make any promises that I don't keep. I do have some very cool ideas, and a lot of those ideas are at least tangentially related to Toonami. So if you are a Toonami channel fan, you'll be happy to see those videos. Uh, So just bear with me for a bit, and I we're going to get some cool stuff from this channel. I'm sure. I'm sure you'll be happy. Well, I can't promise that, but I hope you'll be happy. Um, in the meantime, though, I'm working on these videos, and they're fairly big videos, so I'm not sure how often I can get them out. So in the meantime, I'm going to try to make some smaller content, some stuff that doesn't take up like enormous amounts of time for me. So that's what I'm going to be doing in the meantime. Hopefully that will actually result in more videos because I've been in this like groove of just one Toonami video a month and that's it. So hopefully we'll get more than one video out a month. So that's cool. Again, no promises, but that's the plan. Uh, the next video I have coming out is, a more smaller, less time consuming video. It's going to be a compilation of all of my Blu-ray reviews that I used to do. Um, and so those videos are going to be compiled into one video. I am editing the audio a bit just to make it so that it's not quite so that it's a bit easier to listen to. Some of those old ones are let me tell you, the human mouth makes some weird noises when you talk. You don't notice it until you edit your own audio. Uh, so I'm editing my own audio a bit for those older ones that were just not edited well at all, and hopefully they're a bit easier to listen to now. So that will be coming out. If you've already seen my Blu-ray reviews, it's nothing new. You you don't need to watch it. If you're not interested in it, by all means skip it. Um, I would be happy if you would check it out, but totally understand if it's just not up your alley. So that's coming out, and hopefully that way I can, bring some new viewers to some old content. But I think that's just about everything that I had to talk about. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching me show off all of my new stuff that I spent too much money on, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.